In my area, there is a man that carried the gravestone and placed them in random areas. The gravestone is heavy, and this man is extremely strong. On the gravestone it reads, "Here lies Roger Kashmir, man of selfish and greed, finally laid to rest, and had lived from 1900 to 1980. May you never rest in peace." The stranger was carrying the gravestone, always swearing and shouting profanities, and then he would lay the gravestone at a new place, even in places where no gravestone has been given permission to be put down. He was also known for being rude and antisocial, but that's just who he was in the end. It seems so disrespectful to do such an act, carrying a gravestone to someone's grave. I firmly believe everyone should rest in peace. In the end, should be left alone. He had moved the gravestone from parks, play areas, empty fields, and other random places. One day, when I arrived from work, I found my house had been broken into. I could hear inside someone shouting profanities and swear words. It was the man, and he laid the gravestone on my living room floor. I was so furious that this inconsiderate idiot had just broken into my house and just wrecked the flooring. The amount of money it was going to take to repair was just not what I needed at the moment. I could tell that this man couldn't care less, nor understand how much trouble he had caused me. An argument started, and he sounded illiterate and definitely uneducated. He kept telling me Roger Kashmir keeps moving around in his grave, and wherever he goes, gravestone also must go. I honestly didn't really understand what he was trying to say, as I mainly wanted to punch him really hard. Even in these chaotic times, my understanding nature to listen first before acting came into play. I mean, who breaks into a house just to mess up the floor work? My living room floor was a mess, and I picked up a shovel and started digging. And then I found a coffin where Roger Kashmir was still looking good for a dead guy. He jumped out of his coffin and ate a chunk of meat from the guy who had always been known for carrying around the gravestone. Then he had disappeared. I started getting visions of Roger Kashmir beneath the ground of a play park. So I grabbed the heavy gravestone and put it in my car and drove to the play park to lay the gravestone down. Throughout that week, I had visions of Roger Kashmir moving under the ground from places to places, and me placing the gravestone from place to place wherever Roger Kashmir was. This Roger moves around a lot, and it's getting annoying. I am finding myself to be shouting and cursing profanities now. I would say I am very aware of the paranormal and things of that nature. My parents' house is over 100 years old and is next to the Catholic Church my mom, brother, and I were baptized at. Now, this is where it gets interesting. In the 1950s, during the middle of the sermon, the priest who was living in the house attached to the church was having a heart attack or something of that nature. The people living in the house at the time brought him to their bedroom, what is now our living room, where he later died. Years later, when I was about 8 or 9, I had just woken up from a nap on our recliner in our living room and was still groggy. I remember my mom had a plant in the middle of the doorway for some reason, and as I turned my head to see where I was going, when trying to not bump into the plant for 2 seconds, I saw a man without a face, but was wearing a hat. I don't know if it was a trucker or a baseball cap, but it was a hat, maybe 3 feet in front of me. The only reason I know it was real is because a year later or so, I was watching TV in my mom's room and was about to get up to go to the bathroom. And when I looked at the door, I saw the same guy standing there for a couple seconds, and then he was gone. I've heard things too, but nothing was as creepy as those experiences, besides hearing my mom's voice twice. Once, when she was at work, I heard her call my name from the dryer room downstairs and asked Dad if Mom was home, and he said no. The other time, my mom, Dad, and I were all home, and I heard her call my name from the top floor, but it didn't feel right. I didn't respond for a couple of minutes because I felt off, and I know never to respond if it doesn't feel right. I asked Mom if she called my name a few minutes ago. She said no. Those aren't even the weirdest things that happen. I have a long-distance girlfriend. Her and I talked on the phone every single day for just a little over a year before we physically meet. She'd always tell me about how she'd always see the previous owner walking around the house, who died naturally on the patio, but she never once described what he looked like. The day happens when we meet wonderfully, and everything goes normal until I wake up at about 3ish in the morning to take a piss. She's still asleep, and I get up and walk past the closet next to the bathroom. Out of the corner of my eye, I saw what looked like a guy with glasses wearing a blue flannel, but didn't see any legs. It took me a second to register what I just saw, and I looked where I saw him, and he was gone. I take my piss, not really worried about it, go back to the room, and ask my girlfriend, "So, you know that guy? Does he wear glasses and a blue flannel?" She said, "Yeah, why?" I said, "Well, I just fucking saw him." That still gives me the chills to this day, almost 3 years later. Last summer, I even asked her if she ever saw him near me. She said she saw him standing behind me as we were cooking, and that gave me even more chills. This was the first time since high school that I had seen anything, and it's also the last time currently that I've seen anything. I don't know. What is it because I'm not religious anymore? More agnostic, and this shit creeps me out and fascinates me at the same time. I was playing Apex with a couple of friends tonight that I met online over a decade ago. All of us from separate states. After some fun, losing, and joking around, friend 1 says, "I want pizza." To which friend 2 and I respond, "Go have some then." Friend 1, "I don't have any." Friend 2, "Order one." Friend 1, "You order me one." Friend 2, "Hell nah, me. I'll order you one." I then proceed to open up Domino's and ask what he wants, his address, and such in the matter, to make him think I was joking, but was really going to send him a pizza. Much to my efforts to make him believe I was joking, he caught on that I really was buying him one. At this point, I started trying to think of ways to make this funny somehow. 100 dipping sauces, random items, etc. But I didn't want to kill my wallet over a joke. I made a comment about just ordering it and selecting pay with cash at the door, just to make him a little on edge. In the end, I opted to have them write, and I quote, "Stay losing nerd," on the box, and mention I was a friend sending the pizza because we were gaming together. I put the order in the left and the tracker page open. We continue our games for a while when my wife calls for a break, and I go to get my daughter ready for bed. We all split to take an hour break once kiddo is all tucked in for the night, and a coffee I made. I come back, check the tracker, and see it's been delivered. Friend 1 waiting in the party. Me. Where is friend 1? Friend 2. Probably eating the pizza. I'll call him. He calls and tells him we are back. Friend 2 gets on the mic and says, "Hey guys, I'm back," but muffled, like he's chewing. Me. How's the pizza? Friend 1. It's still not here. Me. What do you mean? It's not There, it says delivered. Friend 1, it never came. Friend 2, we can hear you eating it. Friend 1, I got hungry waiting, so I made a sandwich. At this point, I'm both concerned and wondering if he's screwing with me just for fun. So I started trying to check the app. As I'm going through all the info, I'm praying for him to fess up. Tell me he was joking, but he's having none of it. That's when we started going over the info he gave me. So you live at 204, insert name. Doctor, no, I live at 2204, insert. 2204? No, not 204. Yes. Oh shit. What? Well, not only did I not send it to you, I told him to write "Stay losing nerd" in the box. And that's when we all lost it. Nothing but howling and laughter was heard for several minutes as we all tried to collect ourselves over the thought that I just sent some poor person a pizza telling him to stay lucid. Then a wave of emotions hit me. Sure, I felt honestly bad about the fact that someone could have been having a bad day and received that, but it was soon washed away with the thought that, hey, your name and number was correct on that order. This pizza delivery guy knocked on this person's door. They answered, and what I can only assume went down was, I didn't order pizza. Oh, are you not friend 1? No, yeah, that's me. Here, I'll take it. Which is why Domino's never called us. So now all I can imagine is some deserving person who lied at the door about being someone else open their box to be called a nerd. That being said, I suggested friend 1 to call Domino's and tell him the address was wrong. After about 10 minutes of silence, he comes back on the mic and says, "Good news. I got your money back and they're sending me a new pizza." So in conclusion, my decision to be nice goofball friend led to me not spending a dime. Friend 2 getting the pizza he wanted, and a random person getting some karma for minor identity theft. Stay losing nerd.